How to follow up on old leads. Guys, by the end of this video, you're gonna know my exact strategy of how I follow up on old leads, but turn them into new deals. Now, we've all heard that money is in the follow-up, and that is correct. In fact, 7 out of every 10 deals that my business does comes from follow-up. So I'm gonna be sharing with you 3 strategies to follow up with these leads, and be sticking with me to the very end, because number 3 is the one that when I'm working with private clients, this is the one that they make the biggest mistake on. All right, tip number 1, make follow-up about the individual, not about the home. To do follow-up with a seller means you've already had a conversation with them in the past. Meaning this is not a new conversation. We're talking about follow-up. There had to have been some kind of engagement in the past, and now we're just trying to resurrect or bring forward a new conversation with these individuals. So what is that beginning? What is that initial conversation so that you can have this quality follow-up with your leads? What is the initial purpose when you're talking to people, whether it's on phone or whether you've gone out an appointment and it didn't turn into a deal? What should you be gathering? What should you be doing during this initial visit so that when you do follow up, it's super effective? The big thing is listen about what is going on in their life. Learn more about them. Notes that you should be taking down. If you're in person, you're taking them down on like a notepad or something, or if you're on the phone, you're doing it in your CRM. However you're taking your notes, make sure your notes are little to do with the home. We can always find out if the home's a 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It's X amount of square feet, is built in this year. That doesn't make any sense to put down. You don't need any of that. We can find that whenever without talking to a homeowner. What you really should be focusing on are maybe some of the pains going on in their life, or maybe some of the challenges they're going through, or maybe they're gonna even tell you like, hey, I wish I could talk right now, but we just had a dog that fell down the stairs and broke its hip. I would be writing that down. Now, to some of you might be thinking, that's nothing, I don't need to worry about that. No, those are the things you worry about. When they tell you about what excites them, what is it that's cool about them? Oh my gosh, I have to be careful when I sell this home though, because I'm a big Star Wars like antique individual and I have this room full of antiques, so I've got to be really careful on how I move out this. That's what I'm jotting down. This individual loves Star Wars antiques. These are the notes that you take down, and I'm gonna share with you how you use these notes for future follow-up. Let me share with you a story specific to this Star Wars antiques. We talked to a lady that couldn't stop talking about Star Wars. Like, it was so interesting to me that she responded to a postcard, she needs to sell her home, and it seemed like 30-40% of the conversation we were having was all about Star Wars. She loved it. She had just got done from the night before going on a Star Wars video, like went with her and her husband to the movies. And then she has this room full of Star Wars. And then she has her favorite blanket that's a Star Wars blanket. And she just kept talking about it. So these were the things that I was jotting down. As I did follow up, I called one day, no answer. I did a text message, no answer. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna do something outside the box. I happened to be at Walmart one day. I was with my little boy that at the time was about 6 or 7 years old. He's walking down the aisle and we get into an aisle where all the Star Wars figurines are right there. And I said, hey Hayden, let's hurry and do a quick video real quick. And so I grabbed one of the Star Wars figurines, and I remember just like having the phone up here, I'm looking at my boy, and I'm like, Hayden, we're gonna talk to this individual and send him a message. And I talked to this individual by a video, and I said, hey, so-and-so, I just wanted to reach out to you. I'm at Walmart with my little boy. We were walking down this aisle. I saw all this Star Wars stuff, and instantly I just started thinking of you. And I just wanted to send this message real quick to you. I'm gonna have to pick up now one of these Star Wars figurines, and next time we come out, I'm gonna drop this figurine off to you. I hope you're doing fine. And I ended it. I sent the individual the text, and within minutes, she calls me back. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. That is one of my favorite figurines. And she starts going off. Now, she didn't answer phone, she didn't respond text before, but when I made it about them and that they understood that I was listening to them, that's when it changed. Tip number 2 when it comes to follow up with old leads, make sure that your follow-ups are automated. It's not something that you manage by just thinking, who should I call today? You should have alerts set up, whether that's in your iPhone, your Droid, whatever that is, that you're really setting up alerts, alarms, or for us in our CRM, we are making sure that there's a task associated to every follow-up. One that if it goes past, it turns red. So one of our main tasks for acquisition managers when they're doing follow-up, one of their goals at the end of the week is no red tasks. That means none of their follow-ups past the time that they were supposed to call them. So if you put in a task, call Sally Thursday at 4 p.m. Come 4:01 on Thursday, that task is then gonna go red. That's no good in our business. We wanna make sure that they understand what their tasks are for the day and it's automated. This is the best thing that any one of us can do. Not any one of us are so good at memory that we'll remember who we need to call and at what time we're supposed to call them. Also, the CRM holds all your notes. So not only are you getting the alert, then you're reminded of what you should be talking about so that you can connect with them. Don't make it about the home. Those that make it about the home, they lose the deal and ultimately they won't pick up the phone for future follow-up. Hey guys, I wanna share with you real quick a pro tip. A pro tip that we've been using now for years, and that is get on every wholesaler's list. This is crucial. This was game changer for us. Is it because you want to buy their deals? Maybe, but for us, no, it wasn't anything to do with that. It was to see how many deals were happening in our market, or in other words, how many deals we were missing out on. And here's the sad thing. As we started getting these emails and texts from other wholesalers saying, hey, I've got this deal, do you want it? We would take that address and we'd look in our CRM and we'd find out that a percentage of these deals were in our CRM. One specific one was a red task. Our individual was supposed to do a follow-up like Thursday at 4 p.m. and they never did it. And a week later, it goes by and another individual walks away with the contract. How did it slip through our hands? Because he didn't do his follow-up. So get on other wholesalers' list. Use this pro tip today so you can find out how many deals are slipping through the cracks and to start better your process for follow-up. Hey guys, before we move on to our final tip, I wanna know, what are your struggles? What are your concerns with follow-up? What makes it really hard for you to follow up with these sellers? I would love to hear about these. I love learning from you guys, but more importantly, it gives me a time to really go down, find out what are your real struggles, and chime in and see how I can add value to your wholesaling business so that you can get out there and keep doing deals. Tip number 3, and that is know where to spend your time. So many times we're treating all of the leads that we have with the same amount of urgency. So what I'm saying is, whether it's an individual that needs to close on their home and sell their home in 25 days, or someone that says, hey, next year, 12 months from now, we know we want to sell our home. What happens is most people put those in a bucket for follow-up, the same bucket. What I would suggest is, no, not all leads are created equal and not all leads get the same amount of my attention for follow-up. What I really want to do is, if I'm the one-man band, I want to make sure that I have 3 different buckets. The first bucket is those that are going to close in 60 days or less. The second bucket's like 60 to 90 days. And then the cold bucket or not ready bucket from 90 plus. And what I'm gonna do is spend 75% of my time in follow-up on the leads that are gonna close or know that need to close in 60 days or less. I'm gonna spend about 20% of my time in the 60 to 90 day bucket. And I'm gonna spend about 5% of my time in the 90 days and longer bucket. Do not make that all one bucket where you treat all the leads the same. That's another way that leads will slip through the crack and your competitors will get those deals from you. Guys, going back to the beginning, telling you about what it is with follow-up, why it's so powerful. This is one statistic to really look at. If majority of your deal flow is coming from on-the-spot closes, on-the-spot deals, sometimes we get this ego and this pride saying, hey, it's because I'm an awesome closer, like I'm the #1 closer. In reality, guys, it should be the opposite. Majority of your deals should come from follow-up. So look at that ratio. In fact, any given month, whenever you look at our business, 7 to 8 out of every 10 deals comes from follow-up. And only 20 to 30% of our deals come from on the spot. If you have that ratio going on, that is a healthy business, and that lets you know and me know that you're doing quality time, doing the follow-up so you can go get those harder deals, but also will pay you more money. To help put all this together, from negotiation, marketing, disposition, everything, I've included a link down in the description box that gives you access to our 30-day Close Your First Wholesale Deal Challenge. This is something we're doing every single month. All you gotta do is click on the link in the description, reserve your seat, and I'll see you guys in the challenge.